with the Easter holidays coming to an end today, the N3 Toll Concession says it is expecting traffic volumes out of KwaZulu-Natal to peak from midday. Transport Minister Sindisiwe Chikunga and KZN Transport MEC Sipho Hlomuka will also be wrapping up the Easter season road safety campaign. SABC News reporter Vusi Khumalo and video journalist Sibusiso Tembe are monitoring the traffic situation in Mooi River in the KZN Midlands. We cross to them live now. Vusi, good morning to you. Let us know how the roads are looking already this morning.
Yes, good morning. Yes, we are here in Mooi River in KwaZulu-Natal Midlands. This is where the Department of Transport is conducting a huge roadblock as I'm stepping out of the shot so that Sibusiso Tembe can show you the number of vehicles and also some of the officials from the Department of Transport, from the National Traffic Police, as well as immigration officers who are all in here conducting this main roadblock here with the National Minister of Transport, Sindisiwe Chikunga, as alongside her counterparts in the province of KwaZulu-Natal, Sipho, Hlomuka, as well as other officials as well. We have seen them stopping a number of vehicles already. Some of the drivers or motorists driving unroadworthy vehicles. So some of those vehicles have been impounded already here at the Mooi River Toll Plaza. We have seen quite a number of even motorists being stopped for driving those unroadworthy vehicles. I'm going to talk to now to the MEC for transport in the province of KwaZulu-Natal, Mr. Sipho Hlomuka. Let us welcome you. Tell us about the main aim of conducting this main roadblock. We know that holiday makers are making their way home, especially this one, the N3 northbound. It's going to Johannesburg with a number of job pickers who had come here in the province for festivities alongside the Easter holidays.
Morning to yourself and morning to the viewers. Indeed, today we are here, we are continuing with our work. We are with the Minister for Transport and mayors. We are here as an integrated law enforcement agencies. We are going to monitor, as you already indicated, that most of the road users or the motorists, they are coming from down to Johannesburg or to Limpopo, which it means that others, those who were visiting, now they are going back to their home. We want to make sure that they are safe in our roads. We must appreciate for all of those who are complying with the laws of this country. But I must that part of our work, as we started early in the morning, one of the drivers is already arrested because of the fraudulent license, and also this does not talk to the chassis engine. That means there are those that are not complying, the culprits are not complying with the law. We want to appeal to all the road users, all the motorists, to please make sure that they take care of the passengers. They make sure that they are extra careful when they drive on our roads.
But a number of people have already lost their lives. What's wrong with our South African roads that each and every time, especially during this time of the year, the Easter weekend, we usually hear a number of people who have lost their lives on the country's roads, especially in KwaZulu-Natal. It does have that increase of road fatalities apart from last year.
Well, let's start by sending condolences to all the families that they have lost their loved one, and a number of factors that we have fatalities in the province. One of them I just indicated that we have just arrested a person who was carrying a fraudulent license. That means that person have never tested by the law enforcement authorities. That means he or she can't drive. Especially this one is he can't drive properly. But you might find that there are a number of of those people who are having fraudulent licenses. That's why we are here in N3, here in Mooi River, our team, they are all over the province. We're not only focusing on N3, we're not focusing on only here, but our team, they are monitoring or enforcing law across the province.
Okay, thanks a lot for your time, sir.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thanks. That was Sipho Hlomuka, the MEC for Transport in the province of KwaZulu-Natal, as we are trying to see if we can get a word from the Minister of Transport, Sindisiwe Chikunga, here on the N3 northbound from Durban to Johannesburg, going all the way to Limpopo. We're going to see if we can to get a word from the minister, as she is currently busy with other media houses also reporting about this roadblock that is taking place here on the N3. Let us see if we can get a word from the minister from now. Minister, thanks a lot for your time. This is SABC News now. We know that the province of KwaZulu-Natal usually does have an increase in the number of road fatalities, apart from last year where there was a 21% decline, and also nationally during the Easter period there were 162 deaths last year as compared to 2021. Tell us about the preliminary report. We know that we haven't really quantified the number of road fatalities in the province. Just perhaps you can tell us about the preliminary figures at the moment, if you do have any.
Definitely, I will not want to be talking about figures for now. All that I know is that we're not doing that well. We wanted to reduce the fatalities and the fatal accidents or crashes, but I think we are above where we were by yesterday, where we were last year, and quite a number of provinces are also not doing well in terms of reducing these fatalities. But in terms of numbers and everything, I think we're going to release those formally, the numbers that have been verified, so that we don't just thumbsuck. We do have a preliminary, but I don't think we're ready to release that. What we are saying is that we are here today because we're expecting then again that many people will be driving out of the province of KwaZulu-Natal. And this is one road that is very busy. With trucks, with private motor vehicles, public motor vehicles from other provinces, Eastern Cape, from KZN itself, and so on, and from Gauteng or to Gauteng. So we think that this northbound will be very busy today, and that is why we are here. Just to say to the motorists, please abide by the rules of the road, obey the rules of the road, but also where we have to enforce the law, to enforce the law. And that is why we are here today. As both teams, in fact, with teams from national, from province, from district, from municipality. We are here with Home Affairs, Immigration and Customs. We are here with the police, South African Police Service, our traffic officers. We are all here to ensure that people are safe. We can actually reduce the figures if we can have it right today.
If we are saying that we are worse off this year as compared to the previous years, does that mean that the strategies that you have put in place for the enforcement, especially on the roads, this year, or from last year to this year, have been lacking, especially during this weekend?
I think that is until yesterday. The statistics that I'm talking about and probably the figures that I'm talking about are until yesterday. We don't know what will happen today. Things can always change depending, of course, on how people behave themselves. But like I'm saying, when we are done with with national roads, like long routes, for instance, such as the N3, then people become pedestrians. And sometimes that is where many deaths come from. With the previous ones, pedestrians accounted for 40% of fatalities, and the rest of others, like your passengers, your drivers, they will then share in the remaining figures. So we then focus again on pedestrians when people have arrived at their destinations, and that is why then today we're expecting that they then now will not be pedestrians. The majority of them will be traveling, and that is why we are back again here. I don't think that the measures that we have put in place did not work or they're not working. because the majority of people, even the people that have been stopped here, they are compliant. The majority of them are compliant. But then you're going to have a driver, 10 people that need to be arrested because he's using a fraudulent driving license and the car disc is fraudulent. You're talking about the illegal immigrants that are here. So we're catching that, and we have not declared any state of disaster for this. We're doing our work as we're supposed to do.
Let's try Bab Tembe just to move along. I don't know if the minister can just Bab Tembe can be this side so that we can also see other traffic officers that are already here while we are speaking. Minister, just briefly here, if you can tell us about some of the fraudulent activities that we've already seen on the road. We've already seen or arrested and impounded one taxi from Limpopo whose driver had no driver's license at all.
Indeed, we have. On that one, we have all the right to arrest, to enforce the law. We have the authority. He's driving with a fraudulent driving license, a fraudulent disc, and he says that he got it from a municipality. So if that is the case, we are arresting him so that he can actually give us the name of the official at the municipality who issued him with that driving license at 1,500 that he paid for. So it's the nchoncho that we're talking about. So he must give us the name of that so that we can actually arrest him and fire him with immediate effect, that very official who gave him that fraudulent. So he needs to be arrested so that he can drive, he can actually point us to where the challenge is. That is the first one. We also, the immigration people have arrested 2 illegal immigrants who are in South Africa without any document whatsoever. And it is through the work that they are doing. Sometimes when we stop, for instance, cars and we search and we ask for documents, people think that we're wasting their times. But it is when we pick up and we get such information that people can no longer say we're wasting their times. And we will do that, of course, inconveniencing people, but we have got to do it because we've got to do search and arrest where we've got to arrest and where we have got to issue notices, we're going to do that. We usually refer to notices as tickets. We're going to do exactly that.
And also some of the contributing factors to some of the road fatalities that have already been experienced in the country.
80%, in fact, more than 80% of the factors are human factors. It's a person who is driving under the influence of alcohol. It's a person who decides to stop the car in the middle of the road and people and the other cars, they collide on them. It's a person who decides to speed like he's the only one on the road. So it's human factors that account for more fatalities on our roads. Then, of course, there will be engineering. That is the state of the roads, if there are potholes and so on. It will be the environmental factors that will include weather and so on and so forth. Like yesterday, it was the wet weather and the roads might be slippery and that can contribute to accidents. But when that happens, we always say a person who is sober-minded, who is driving in an environment where, for instance, it's raining, it's the choice of the person to either stop the car or to reduce the speed. When you do that, then you'll avoid accidents. So human factor plays a critical role in reducing accidents. That is our take. Even now, speaking to those who might be watching us, first we're requesting that those that will be undertaking long distances to start driving now during the day, so that by the time night comes, they have arrived at their destinations. That's the first. And the second is that as they do that, they are ready to deal with whatever that is on the road. If it means stopping because there's something that is obstructing the road, they must be ready to be patient and stop and be able to continue with their journey, taking enough time, long time if it calls for that, so that we don't rush to arrive at our destination and we end up not arriving at our destination.
Okay. Minister, just briefly, I don't know if you can take a walk to that minibus taxi that's being stopped currently while we talk through it. I don't know if you've got time for that. The combi has just been stopped just now. We just want to see what is really happening in the taxi. The minister will then talk through to some of the activities that are happening here. I don't know if the minister can be briefed about as to what is really happening now. If you can talk us through that.
Well, here, I think they're actually checking whether the driver has got all the documents that are required, but also if the passengers they comply. You know, I'm happy to see the passenger bundled up, because I think that is important. They don't know the driver. They hope that he is fit to drive them, but they don't know. We all do not know the driver. He might have all the documents, but we don't know as to when did he sleep. So if they battle up, they actually saying, should anything happen, anything for that matter, look the roof of this taxi. When it overturns, one thing that will kill people, that usually kill people, it will be the height of this vehicle as they go up and down, and then the majority of them will die. So we're happy that they are battled up, and I think they should maintain that status and ensure that they continue doing that. And they too will be there to assist the driver. It's not for them just to sleep, because sometimes the driver might not notice a kekel, but they can say, how you know, making the driver aware. They may say, but there is a car that is coming, or something like that. So that they too assist the driver as they are traveling. I think it's a long distance taxi. I wish them all the luck. I mean, that they are safe. They don't sleep and assist the driver.
Okay. Thanks a lot, Mr. for
Thank
time.
you very much.
Okay, thanks a lot. That's Minister Chikunga, Sindisiwe Chikunga, just inspecting one taxi here. And also, let us try and see if we can talk to some of the passengers that are boarding this taxi. Baba kunjani sabona?
Yebo kunjani?
Ukhuluma isiZulu.
Yebo ngikhuluma isiZulu.
Ukhuluma ulimi lwesiZulu. Okay. Ungazi uthi usanda uyibopha nje la, ngathi siyabona ngathi uyayifasekile kahle, uyibopha ngoba kufika amaphoyisa yini?
Hayi kade ngiyibophile.
Nisuka phi nibheke phi?
Siwe eMaritzburg ngiyegoli.
Okay. Ubona kunjani ukuthi amaphoyisa ehlezi njalo ngaso sonke isikhathi ehlola amatekisi, ehlola ukuqinisekisa ukuthi amatekisi noma izithuthi zomphakathi ziyaqikelela emgwaqweni nani niphephile ngokunjalo?
Angayinto enhle impela ukuthi beqikelele benze sure bayawa-check amatekisi ngoba impilo zabantu lezi ezikule monto le.
Niyabatshela ukuthi odrive baphumule uma sekufanele baphumule nokuthi nina njengabagibeli anifake ingcindezi abashayeli ukuze baphumule, ningasho ukuthi ke banilibazise emgwaqweni?
Siyakwazi ukukhuluma nabo simtshela hayi wethu uma ungasezwa kahle ayiphumula mfethu ngoba manje impilo iza kanye impilo.
Okay.
Ngoba kusiza ukuthi simtshela akahambe noma ekhathele ngoba impilo yethu leyo.
Okay. Sizokwena mama igama nesibongo qana ukuthi usuka apho ubheke phi?
Fikile Mpanza.
Ubheke ngapha mama. Okay, ubheke phi nanokuthi imfamily lapho abashayeli abaningi?
Hayi ayikho. Yebo.
These are some of the passengers saying that they've buckled up all the way from Durban, saying that they did not just buckle up upon seeing the traffic personnel that are conducting a roadblock here with the Minister of Transport, Sindisiwe Chikunga, alongside her counterparts in the province of KwaZulu-Natal. Just briefly here, they are saying that sometimes they do tell the taxi drivers to stop and also take a rest so that they arrive safely in their destinations. So these are some of the updates taking place in the province of KwaZulu-Natal. We know that the province of KwaZulu-Natal reported 21 deaths in the period of Easter last year, and also it was 54 the year before, 2021, and the country national figure is 162, and it was 235 the previous year in 2021. So there was a decline last year, but this year the minister did say that the figures may be up. They are not doing very well, by saying that it doesn't mean that the strategies, the measures that have been put in place are not working, but they are going to ensure that they do work. Let us talk to the taxi driver. Singakhuluma nawe baba nje kafushane. Ubathwele kanjani abagibeli? Siyabona ukuthi bayasho ukuthi abanye baba basanda kufaka amabhande la nawe ulifakile ibhande
Angihlezi ngilifakile baba ebhande. Hlezi likhona.
baphese kanjalo abagibeli
Kusekahle kakhulu njengoba ngisayigoli nje. Boze ngifike nabo futhi qathatha.
uyaphumula wathi endleleni
Harrismith. Iyona ndawo ngiphumela kuyona, yes.
uphumula isikhathi esinganani uqinisekisa ukuthi abagibeli bakho baphephile ngaso sonke isikhathi
5 minutes.
uthi ngoba khona amaphoyisa emgwaqweni ngaso sonke isikhathi nozingalesi sikhathi kuphela
Sijabula kakhulu ukuze babone phela ukuthi zonke imoto ezikhona zihamba ngendlela sesimweni kuyisona sonke. Ngona okufunekayo vele lesikhathi. Bona kahle kahle kuyofuna ngabahlala bekhona mihla namalanga. Hayi ngoba kuwe ma holiday kuphela.
That's one taxi driver saying that he's always buckled up and also saying that he does take a rest when a need arises, especially as a person who comes from Durban to Johannesburg. They do take a rest at Harrismith. That must be Montrose.